Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live Podcast.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live Studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Hey, it's Michael here for Oilers Live Tuesday and another season predictions edition. I've got the gentleman from the Heavy Hockey Network on my right. I've got Mr. Ryan Lotsberg. You can find him on Twitter at LotsRye. Then next to him, we've got Kirk Morris. Find him on Twitter at KMWrites1. Right below those guys, we've got Dash at Dash in the Park on Twitter, and Mr. Mike Dursa, Megathread Mike Dursa at Mike Dursa on Twitter. Thanks, guys, for joining on the eve of another regular season, the 22-2023 NHL regular season. Pretty excited. You guys, anybody going to the game? No.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, that's disappointing. It's disappointing. Not the answer I was hoping for. We clearly have not scripted this. All right. So we've got a few questions tonight. We're going to ask questions tonight and get your answers, go from there. And we're going to try to see what your predictions are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Dash. Not the best thing that I've ever done, but I'll do it in this case. And we'll get a bit of a review of last year's season predictions and see how everyone fared. The last year's season predictions were Lotsberg, myself, Mike Dursa, and Dash. And about the same time last year. Dash, go ahead. Let's give us the recap of what we said last year.
All right, as quickly as possible, I would say you asked us right around 20 questions each. The overall totals on the predictions were that you yourself had about 4 out of 20. I give you a little credit because you actually didn't answer, 4 or 5 of them. You took the out because you were the host and refused to pick a Stanley Cup champion because you said you were going to edit it in after, so you sounded smart. That said, Dursa had 6 out of 20. Ryan had 4 out of 20 with some absolute blasters along with it. And I ended up with 7. None of them were genius, but a few of them just kind of fell in line. So we did pretty good. Some of the highlights were you asking how many Oilers would have 20-goal seasons. Both Ryan and I picked 5. I was actually accurate enough to say that there would be 5. But nobody would have more than 30 other than Connor and Dry, who would have over 40. So that was a pretty good one. Dursa nailed Draisaitl's points almost to a T. Dursa nailed Bouchard's goals scored. He picked a dirty dozen, and it was 12. I came pretty close to picking the final 4. I had New York versus Tampa Bay and Edmonton versus Colorado, but unfortunately I had the Islanders in there instead of the Rangers. I was the only one to pick any of the trophy winners. We all kind of gaffed going pretty hard on our Oiler homerism there. We all had McDavid for the Hart and Durst had Nurse for the Norris. But I was the only one that grabbed Makar, and Hebert told me that was off the board.
Yeah, let's be honest about this one.
A couple easy ones we all had was who would be the starting playoff goalie, which was Smith, and we were all right. A couple other funny highlights were you guys all picking Trey Living to be the first GM fired. I thought that one was pretty good. Hebert did really well on Bergevin. He'd be the first GM fired if it wasn't Trey Living. So thought that was pretty accurate. The funniest quote, I think, was perhaps just Ryan's ongoing bantering of Toronto and how much he detested them. Perhaps the one that made me laugh out loud was they're just throwing a bunch of fourth liners like bunting at the wall and trying to see like what sticks like spaghetti. He also said that Carolina and Toronto would take a big step back and that Winnipeg would take a big step forward.
I'm trying to repress those memories, Dash.
Dash did pick. Who'd you pick for the Vezina, Dash?
I picked Hellebuck.
Yeah.
I had a few Winnipeg homerisms in there too. I actually agreed with Ryan that they were going to do well. My funniest quote was, "You want disappointments? Toronto, because screw Toronto." That was Ryan. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I picked LA to be a surprise team. Dursa said that Vegas is going to regret trading Marc-Andre Fleury a lot more than they realize. Boom. It's good times. Let's see if we can do it again.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun episode, guys, and thanks for joining me as usual. Just an update on the game. Speaking of Vegas and LA, 1-1 now, tied in the second. And, of course, Tampa Bay loses its season opener against the Rangers. 3-1 for the Rangers, with Zibanejad doing something that hasn't been done, I guess, since, what did you say, Kirk? 1938?
1934.
1934.
First player to start out the season getting a shorthanded and then a power play goal.
Nice. That's starting to sound like baseball stats. But
That's
all good.
ESPN for you, man.
Yeah, that's ESPN. Trying to make it relatable, I guess, to the folks out there.
There you go.
All right, guys. So you know the drill. It's going to be 100 or about 100 questions, about a dozen questions tonight. I might add in a couple that I didn't prep you for, just to put you on the spot and see what you know. And we'll take it from there. There's a couple that give you a chance to give you a bold prediction. You got 30 seconds. There's no horn, but I'll just let you know when time's up. I'll yell it loud. I might even put you on mute. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. I started you off mute this week, so that's good. It's always a good sign. We're off to a good start. So, all right, guys. We're going to get right into it. And let's start with... Let's start with the Eastern Conference. So first question up is going to be, who will win the Eastern Conference? We're going to say regular season and then in the playoffs. And we're going to start with Kirk. You're the man today. Gets your first one. Kirk, when you're ready, you're on the clock.
Okay, for the Eastern Conference champions, I decided to go with Carolina. Big shocker. But then it's a repeat of last year's playoffs. And I chose the New York Rangers to win the Eastern Conference in the playoffs.
All right. 5 seconds left. Not bad. Not bad for your first time on under the clock. That's all right. Okay, we're going to go to Dash next. Dash, are you ready? Oh, sorry. I want to get you on there. Hold on. There we go. All right. Dash.
You've asked me to be on this show 32 times, a record-breaking 32 times for a reason. I was born ready.
You're up. Clock's ticking.
I'm aware. The Toronto Maple Leafs will do their regular season thing and come out of the East on top and do their playoff regular thing and bow out in the first round, where the Florida Panthers will finally make their rise with the changes they've made in their organization and come out of the East.
Wow. That's actually a bold prediction. That's pretty good. I'll give you that. All right. Mr. Dursa, you ready?
I am.
Yeah. Okay. You're up.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the city so nice they named it twice. New York, New York. I'm taking the Rangers to come out of the East on top and to go to the Stanley Cup finals this year.
Big Rangers fans here tonight. Ryan, we're saving the best for last. You usually got something up your sleeve, something good. Eastern Conference regular season and Eastern Conference playoff champion. Who do you have? You're up.
I'm not going to take any big risks on these predictions here. I'm going to agree with Kirk on the regular season, and I'm going to go Carolina. I like what they've done in the offseason, and I'm going to go back to the old well with the Tampa Bay Lightning, doing what they do best in the playoffs and returning to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Wow. All right, Tampa Bay. That's actually, I think that's bold this year. Especially starting the year off with a little bit of controversy. So that's, some stuff happens like that, and you see how teams respond. Of course, there's a lot of vets there.
Yeah, they got blown out in Pittsburgh against Pittsburgh in the opening game last year, and they made it a couple miles still. So I ain't worried.
Hard to bet against them. I am going to go, seeing as I know Dash is keeping track here, and I better say something, or man, I'll hear about it next season.
Especially when you're wrong.
I like the way Durst is thinking. I actually think Carolina will come out of the regular season, and then the Rangers. I think Dursty also picked the Rangers coming out of the conference championships. Rangers look pretty good this year, so we're gonna go with them. Let's move on over to the Western Conference. We're going to start with the Western Conference. Last time we started with Kirk. This time you're going to be up on the clock, Durst. So Western Conference regular season champion and then Western Conference playoff champion. And we're recording, by the way, just in case you wanted to know.
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
Well, I hate to do this, but I'm going to say the Colorado Avalanche are going to come out of the Western Conference and win another Stanley Cup.
And another Stanley Cup. You're already answering. You're answering another prediction already. All right.
That's what we do.
Yeah, you're ruining the timing of the show here. All right, Ryan, you're up next. So, Western Conference regular season champion, Western Conference playoff champion, and we haven't started on Stanley Cup yet, so we'll get there. All right, you're up.
All right, I'm going to go with the Avalanche to win the West in the regular season. And I think that we'll get a rematch in the Western Conference Final, Avs-Oilers. I think that the Avs have regressed a little bit and the Oilers have gotten a little bit better. So I'm going to take the Oilers to go to the Stanley Cup Final.
On an Oilers podcast. How bold of you. Right on. I can't disagree with that. That sounds good. Kirk, you're up. So we're talking Western Conference regular season and Western Conference playoff champion. You're on.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but I got to go with the same picks as Lotzie there. Colorado winning the regular season Western Conference title, and then Edmonton beating them to go on and to win the Stanley Cup.
Well, we're not on Stanley Cup yet, guys.
Nope.
Apparently we are.
Durst. Tell ya.
Rookies.
All right. Dash, you're up. Come on, give us something bold. Give us some bold prediction. Western Conference regular season, Western Conference champion. What do you got?
It pains me
Oh, no.
Probably going to have
to
time to
say
hit mute yet.
that it will be the Calgary Flames.
Regular season and playoff champion?
Playoff Western Conference champion will be the Edmonton Oilers.
All right. I can take that. I can be that's when it matters. That's when it matters.
You're damn right.
All right. So, you keeping track of this? I'll answer this one here. Western Conference regular season. I'll go with the Colorado Avalanche. No big surprise there. Western Conference champions. Really want it to be Edmonton. But I'm probably going to take Colorado again in the Western Conference Finals. And I hope I'm wrong, of course. I'll be cheering to be wrong on that one. All right. Now, I feel like we don't even need to do this one anymore. Only half of you need to respond. Will the Avs repeat as Stanley Cup champions? If not, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Give me something like your thoughts on, anything about it that might be bold. Dursa, you're on the clock.
Well, I think in the Western Conference Final, we're there. We do not get swept this time. We make a series out of it, but Colorado's just a little bit ahead still. And like I said, they win another Stanley Cup.
All right. Kirk, going straight to you. We already know your answer. Give us something more.
I blurted out my answer. So I think we have the edge in net. And I will explain the reason later on with my bold prediction NHL-wise.
All right. I love it.
Teaser.
I love it.
Spoilers instead of teasers.
Yeah. Dash, you're up. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year?
Ladies and gentlemen, your Stanley Cup champions will be the hometown Edmonton Oilers. We can do it, you guys. I'm not sure we have the team right now. And I believe we will make the moves that we need to at the deadline. I think Colorado's taken a step back. I don't think anybody on Colorado has proved anything. I do think we'll see a repeat in the second round with the Flames, again with the Avs, and then the Oilers win.
All right. That's fair. You redeemed yourself. You're back. You're after my heart again, Dash. You're after my heart again.
I'll go war.
Ryan, you're up. Stanley Cup champion. Anything you want to say about it? Go ahead. You're up.
I've got Tampa Bay and the Oilers in the final, and my turn to give a painful answer here. I'm going to take the Lightning to continue their dynasty, if you want to call it that. They ran into a bunch of injuries last year and still made that series competitive against Colorado. Edmonton could score their way to the Cup Finals, but they're going to learn a lesson on hard defending from Tampa Bay.
You're taking Tampa Bay.
What if Draisaitl has two good legs?
And Nurse.
Tampa Bay. I honestly didn't see that coming.
In the Cup Finals, and we'll see.
Wow. No, I didn't see that coming. Tampa Bay. All right. So I picked New York to come out of the East, Colorado to come out of the West. I am going to take. Well, like Black Mascari says, predictions are always tough. Guess I'll follow Dash's lead there in everything and bets huge sums of money on it. Oh, I forgot. I'm broke. That's probably because you bet on Dash the last time. I'll take New York. I'll take the Rangers.
Lost more.
Rangers to be back into Cup contenders. There's something about. I think maybe Dash hit it. I mean, I'm not even. I'm still a little uneasy about taking Colorado to come out of the West. There's a lot of changes this year on these teams. This is not like, the years of Tampa Bay, right? Like where they kind of come through each year with the same big core, right? You're losing Kadri, you're losing Kemper, right? Like, this is, yeah. I mean, this is a big. Those are big changes, right?
I mean, Tampa's bringing back the best goalie in the universe. Colorado's bringing back Frankie and Georgiev.
Yeah.
We don't even know who the starter's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's that's worthwhile discussion, right? So, I certainly wouldn't bet on Colorado. This is for you, Black Mascari. Maybe you can make some money off this, but I wouldn't bet on Colorado to come out of the West. I mean, we're going to see. I mean, the same goes for. I get what you're saying about Calgary, right? Like, there's a lot of things to love about their lineup, like how it's put together, defense, goaltending. Whether Huberdeau and Kadri, are ample better than Goudreau and Tkachuk, which most of us believe. I think.
Don't forget Uyghur.
Yeah. And then Uyghur on defense, and he's being paired with Tanev. But the challenge that I see in Calgary is much like, I see in Colorado, which is this is a team that's put together. This is the first time they've been put together, right? Like, you've not seen Huberdeau play in Calgary ever. So, is he back to being a 100-plus point guy? to make 100 points in this league, what is it? You need 1.22 per game or 1.33 per game? Can't remember what the thing is. 1.22, I believe. So, that's a pretty big deal. And Calgary didn't have any injuries last year, right? I think it'll change. Anyway, anyone got any thoughts to say before we move on to the next question? All right. I've shut you all up. Doing something right.
According to a new poll I saw out there, 91% of people are satisfied with their lives, and the other 9% are Calgary Flames fans.
So true. That's accurate. That's accurate indeed. All right. Okay, let's go to who will be the first coach fired. We're going to start with Mr. Dursa. Let's do coach and GM. Okay.
First curveball.
Yeah. First curveball. Because you got 30 seconds. So I'm going to give you a second to think about it there, Durs. Because, I'm adding in GM. You've thought about coach, or at least I think you have. Now you're going to think about the GM. So let's go there. Durs, you ready?
Ready.
All right. You're on.
Tortorella is the first coach gone.
That's pretty damn bold.
That's actually my joke. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Peter DeBoer and Kelly McCrimmon, both gone in Vegas.
Isn't DeBoer coaching Dallas?
Yeah, he's in Dallas now.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Who's coaching
Mike
Vegas?
Sullivan is coaching.
Hey,
yeah.
good prediction.
Oh,
He's saying that
He's right.
prediction that DeBoer will get fired in Vegas. Whoa.
He is gone.
As a coach of the Stars, he's fired in Vegas.
He is gone.
Cab ride home.
Oh man.
Good thing you brought the experts in tonight.
Like, what are we even doing here?
I had to say Tortorella just to make you guys laugh. Hopefully, I did.
Yeah. Well, you made us laugh on the next one too, so it all works out in the end. All right, you want to change that, or you're gonna stick?
I'll say Mike Sullivan in Vegas is the guy. Yeah, sure. He's gone.
Okay, I think
Bruce Cassidy. You mean?
Bruce Cassidy was in Vegas.
Wow.
You guys telling me the wrong info here.
Wow.
My bad. I had it
Pull
wrong the
names
first
of a
time.
hat,
he
man.
had it wrong too. All
Wow.
right, we're going.
I'll go way off the board here. Claude Julien's gonna get fired. He's not even coaching.
Okay, we're going.
He was the first one fired last year. Good one.
Kirk, we got you up next.
Right before Bergeron.
Are you
Jesus, man.
Are you ready, Kirk, for this?
Is this a
think so,
basketball
yeah.
podcast? Are we doing Dursa's Bulls
We
predictions?
should be.
There we go.
You want to talk about the Red Sox, maybe? What's wrong with you?
Just
I
hold
thought
on. You're
this
not
was
even up
easy.
yet.
Oh, geez. Well,
Wow.
get with the program. You say I'm
Wow.
up and then I'm not
Yeah,
up.
no, you're up, but I'll tell you when to start. Man, the guy's
Love
like
it.
he owns the place already. All
He
right.
knows where the talent
All
lies.
right, look at him. Look at him. You're gonna start when I say you start. Not yet. Just hold on. Hold on. All right, you can go.
I thought this was a pretty easy one to predict. Lindy Ruff out of the New Jersey Devils. And as far as the manager goes, I got to lean towards what Dursa said there. I got to go Chuck Fletcher with the Philadelphia Flyers. He couldn't manage his way out of a paper bag, personally.
Oh yeah, that's that's not a bad one. All right, who's up next? We got
Ryan.
Ryan up next. Ryan, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right, you can go now.
All right, I'm going to start with the GM, and I agree with Kirk on this one, actually. Chuck Fletcher in Philadelphia. There's a whole bunch of mediocre going on there. And you hire Torts to try to win, and that's just going to be a failed experiment. With the coach, I'm going to go Peter Laviolette in Washington. I'm looking at their defense, and it's pretty weak, and their forward group is aging. It's a competitive division. I think they fall out, and Lavi gets fired.
All right. Yeah, that's not. Those aren't bad. Those aren't bad. All right, Dash, you ready?
Oh yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah, you're ready. I know you're ready. Okay, you're up.
All right. As much as that scrambled dog's breakfast that Dursa just gave us was just a bunch of verbal diarrhea, he was right. It's going to be Crowley McCrimmon as the first GM gone in Vegas, and the first coach will be fired will be Mike Sullivan, but from Pittsburgh.
From Pittsburgh, not from Vegas. I think that was the best. That might have been the best, best ever. All right.
He made me think twice when I saw when he said Mike Sullivan, because that was already my pick, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
No, I think that's those are good. Those are good. I actually I'm going to steal that. I wasn't thinking McCrimmon. In fact, I didn't have a GM in mind, but that I think that's probably the most likely the more you put some thought into it. And if I had to guess in terms of coach, I'm actually going to go with Hackstall in Seattle. There's already, fans screaming. There's, a desire to see a little bit more happen there. We'll see. Depends on how Seattle starts the season, but that's who I'm going with.
Add-on question, because I don't think that, and I don't know whether you guys saw this or not, but when the odds came out on all the websites, gambling websites, Sheldon Keefe is on the top of every single list for the first coach to be fired. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I think Toronto will be fine in the regular season. But since we're talking about that, what are your guys' quick thoughts on Keefe being the first coach fired or Dubas being the first GM fired? Because I do think there is a chance Dubas could lose his job at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that for me, I was going to say Dubas when I first asked the question, and then I thought there's no way he's getting fired mid-season.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be end of season.
I think it'll be an ugly divorce after the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, his contract's up, so there will be no contract renewal, and I think Keith will be gone with the new GM coming in.
Yeah. Unless
Pretty simple.
the unthinkable happens and Toronto goes past the first round.
Whoa.
Talk about bold.
Yeah, talk about. I mean, I did say unthinkable. Let's remember that. All right, guys. We've got lots more questions to go through. Next one up is, let's see, first coach fired, Stanley Cup. Let's continue on before we get into the Oilers stuff. Let's go with who your sleeper team or dark horse team will be for the regular season. This could be East or West, but a team that you think will do the unthinkable, make the playoffs, overachieve, anything like that. You let me know. And who haven't we started with yet? Dash, I don't think we've actually started with you yet, have we?
I don't know.
So we're going to start with you, Dash, the sleeper team, dark horse team for the NHL regular season. You're up.
When the off-season moves happened this summer, one of the biggest things that jumped out to me was a few different teams' particular maneuvers, and one that really kind of slapped me in the face was the Detroit Red Wings. They kind of looked like they were going for this rebuild and these first-round picks, and I don't know if Yzerman just saw a big amount of players that he get at a really good price and said, screw it, I'm getting them now, but I really like the improvements the Detroit Red Wings have made this year.
All right, that's a good answer. Yzerman's a smart guy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
The Yzer plan.
Yep, absolutely. Lotsy, you're up. What's your thoughts?
Right.
You're on the clock.
Honorable mention to Detroit and to Ottawa, but I think that the dark horse team is going to come out of the Metro, and I think it's going to be New Jersey. I like what they did. I mean, Subban leaving helped them a lot. It was a sneaky good play to get John Marino out of Pittsburgh. Then you're adding rookie Alexander Holtz. They added Andre Palat. You got Jack Hughes who's ready to break out this year. You got Nico Hischier. I like where the Devils are at.
Okay. All right. I like that. That's not bad. All right. Kirk, you ready for this one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, I love your patience. You're on.
Well, I once again I got to follow suit with the lads there and say honorable mention there to Detroit. Sorry, Tess. They're one step away from making it. I just don't trust Husso. And I had a sleeper pick there back in the spring. I said Ottawa will squeak in, and I'm sticking by it. Ottawa will squeak in, just barely.
All right. Good one. Good one. Ottawa. Before we start, I mean, I've been thinking about this one when I put it in the questions, but is Ottawa a sleeper? I mean, they made so many changes. Like, I think people are going to be expecting them to do, half decent.
The division they're in makes them a sleeper.
Yeah.
Like, they're still in a division with Toronto, with Tampa, with Boston, with Florida.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. When you put it that way, Lotzie.
You trust in Nedeljkovic, Chris? Kirk? Whatever the fuck your name is?
Thanks, buddy.
Wow.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, you go past Nedeljkovic, who they got as their number 3? Nobody. So you're basically trusting Husso to last the entire season, maybe play 60 games, if that. You could probably go 50, a 50-40 or 50-35 split, maybe, or 40-40 split in games between him and Ned. I don't know, because it's his first full season, right? So, yeah. So or second, pardon me, if you want to include last year, he played most of last season because Bennington was so bad for St. Louis. But yeah, I don't know. It's an iffy there. If
I think they're a good tandem.
Well, if
That's
the
all they need.
defense, in front of them plays well, who knows?
Cider's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Durs, you're up. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You're on the clock.
All right. I'm going to make Jeff Aid really happy and say the Buffalo Sabres are not going to make the playoffs, but it's a good segue there. I like what Ottawa did in the offseason, but hearing Cam Talbot's hurt a little bit banged up, that could take a little bit of a toll on them. I don't know if I would call this a sleeper pick or not, but I think the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to surprise a lot of people this year and be back.
Yeah, it's definitely not a sleeper pick, but it would be a surprise if they did super well, I think. But, I mean, you got Crosby on your team. He's still considered, top 10 in some circles, top 20 in others. I mean, hell of a player. All right, so we got Ryan. You said who was it? Jersey. Kirk. Ottawa. Mike was Pittsburgh, and Dash, you were Detroit. It's been bugging me, but I think I actually, you joked about Buffalo. Look, if we're talking sleepers or teams that might surprise you, Buffalo's that team for me.
Craig Anderson.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing is, there's it's just a matter of like, there's got to be a sense of Granato's there. He's there's a little bit of pride. We'll see what's going on. I mean, this is a different team now. They got rid of Eichel, so like. They were starting to play half decent at the end of last season. And they got some
everybody there's on the uptick.
Yeah, they've got some talent.
And
yeah. Anyway,
here's a bold prediction.
Comrie.
I predict Tage Thompson will score 40.
Oh, really? That is a bold prediction, but he's a talented player.
Yeah,
240 on the scale or 40 goals?
Both.
Again, Kirk, out of order We got we got bold predictions coming up.
Oh, he's got
Oh,
something
yeah,
else for
sure.
that.
He's always got.
That wasn't my one, but yeah.
All
I'll
right,
take
all
that
right.
later, too.
I give you that. But
He-
Tage
Don't
Thompson
worry,
with
he'll
40.
still blurt out Jack Campbell for the Vezina at some point in time here.
We're gonna have to do trophies, I guess.
Close.
In this one, we'll have time. We'll have time to do trophies. All right, continuing on with the league, we did sleeper team. We are going to do boldest NHL prediction for the season, and I think Dursa, we're gonna no. Let's not start with you, Lazio. Let's start with you. You ready? Boldest
Bold
prediction
prediction?
for the NHL season. You're on.
All right. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Edmonton Oilers are going to lead the NHL in goals scored. I believe they were sixth in the category last year, but a full season of Evander Kane and getting a deeper top nine with guys with a Dylan Holloway coming onto the team and potentially even contributing in the top six. I think that'll make a big difference. And no 2-11-2 stretch will also help that.
All right. I think that is bold. I think, it's not unlikely, but it's bold for sure. Kirk, you're going to be up next, because if I didn't put you up next, you'd probably blurt out another bold prediction anyway. So I figured I better get you in here quickly. All right, Kirk, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're on the clock.
Okay, I predicted my big prediction is Colorado will run into goalie trouble again with Francouz getting injured, pulling a hammy or groin or whatever. Trade for Connor Ingram from Arizona, and by season's end, he will be the starter for the club, not Gorgiev.
All right. I didn't see that one coming. Goalie stuff out of Kirk. No big surprise there. No big surprise. Durst, we're going to go with you. You ready for this?
Always ready, man.
Every time I go to your screen, you're like further and further down. Like by the end of the night, you're going to be like on the couch sleeping.
Yep.
It's his strategy. He wants that bear picture in the view by the end of the show every time.
The Bear's getting more playtime than you. All right.
Questions by the Bear.
I'm going to start asking the Bear questions here pretty quick. All right, Durst, you ready?
I understand your
You guys
coaching
are barely
firing
paying
predictions.
attention anyway.
There it is.
You're up. You're on the clock. Go.
So my bold prediction is the most handsome coach in the NHL also wins the Jack Adams.
Oh. Wow. I like it. I don't think it'll happen, but I like it. All right. Dash, I guess you're last up, are you? You ready for this? I mean, you're born
Always.
ready for this.
I think those predictions from Ryan and Dursa about as bold as vanilla.
All right.
Oh, we have the two greatest players in the world, and we might score the most goals. And we've fired every coach for 20 straight years, and this one's going to take us to a Western Conference final, and it might win than Jack Adams. Shocking, guys. Here's what's going to happen this
Use
season.
half of his time on
My
that.
bold prediction is that Jack Hughes will increase his point total by at least 30 points.
Won't happen. You never know. I just think Hughes is too small. Like, I think he's going to be a player in the league, but I just think he's too small. What are you saying there, Kirk? What are you whispering?
Overrated.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's overrated. I
overrated,
just
man.
think he's a little bit small. All right. So, Lotsburg, you're saying Oilers goal scoring champions. Kirk, something to do with goaltenders and hamstrings. Dursa, Mr. Woodcroft.
I don't know, but the Bears' eyes are in the picture now, too.
Woodcroft for the Jack Adams, and Dash.
Dash picked Dursa for the Kevin Weeks Award.
Kevin Weeks Award, yeah. Like Dash says he went. Well, you did go off the board on this one because is Hughes even relevant out here? So an additional 30 points to where he was
56
last year.
points last year. He'll have at least 86 points, potentially a 90-point player.
All right. My bold prediction, just because I'm an asshole, is I think that the Flames and the Florida Panthers will have constructed a lose-lose trade, and both teams will see significant drops in points. I don't know if that's a wish or a or a bold prediction,
It's a dream I had last night. I don't know.
but I'm going with it. It is a dream. It's a
Brain
dream.
Calgary there has some health problems. That's all.
Well, that's bold.
compared to
That's
last year.
bold. That's better than those other two yahoos.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know what? You never know, right? And is Kadri, is he a top second-line center on any other team? Not shielded by McKinnon.
Just
And
give
Makar
Dursa
on the
credit
back
for
end.
saying my bold prediction is that Connor McDavid will lead the NHL in scoring. Whew, throw the dice.
Yeah. All right. We're on to Oilers stuff. We are on to Oilers stuff here. Now we're going to get right into it. So we're going to start with Connor McDavid. 150 points on the over-under. We'll do both, actually, McDavid and Draisaitl. 150 points on the over-under. If you want to give more detail, feel free to give more detail. Dash, I'm going to start with you on this one. So Connor McDavid, over-under 150. Leon Draisaitl, over-under 150. And if you've got time, give us some detail. You're up.
Under and under, which is absolutely ridiculous to ever bet against Connor McDavid on the under on anything. So nobody should take my advice here. But I do believe Connor will do Connor McDavid things, and I do believe it's Connor McDavid's league and everybody else is in it. That's at 150 is a lot of points, you guys. A lot of points.
Especially for today's league.
I took the under on 140 last year, and I was right. So I'll go 135 and 124 for Draisaitl.
Not bad. Those are pretty decent guesses. All right. Kirk, you're up. You ready?
Yes, sir.
You're on.
Connor will be not over, not under, but he'll be a dead even 150.
Whoa.
And I took the under with Dry at 135.
Flipped a coin and it landed on its edge.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Either of them doing 50 goals, Kirk?
That's coming up.
All right. We'll get
I didn't get that
I
question.
didn't get that question either, but we might as well ask it at some point. All right, we will ask it. We'll ask it. We'll put that in the question pool. All right, we got Dursa. You ready?
Ready to go.
All right. You're
Just
on.
kind of wondering if Dash is reading my script here or not, but I've
No,
got
just waiting for the Bears' ears to show up.
All right, I've got McDavid on the under, and I'm 135 points is what I had written down. Draisaitl on the under as well. I'm gonna say he's just back of Connor with 130.
Bad. I'll take that. Ryan, you ready?
Sir.
You're up.
So math time from last year, McDavid had a stretch where he went 13 points in 14 games. In the other 110, he got 66. If he'd have continued at that same pace all year, he'd have been at 137 points. So even if he increases his point total a little bit, which I think he will, he's getting over 140, which 150 is crazy. I don't think he'll get to 150. I'm going 141 points for McDavid.
Okay, and Draisaitl?
Draisaitl, I'll go 120.
120. All right. All right. Well, it is a predictions episode, so I think nobody took the over. I might as well take the over, because if I'm right, you're all wrong. So I'm going to take the over. Plus, I think to Lotzi's point, right, there's a lot of differences in last year's season. I mean, there was a whole stretch there where not a lot of points were scored at all. So I think if we have a more consistent season, you got Kane on his wing all season. Maybe you even see some other players. Like, this is the first time where you've got a top six that you're not scared to have on his wing. So I think he's going to be producing a ton. Plus, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen him play like that in a preseason, like in a long time, right? Like he just, I know we say this every year, but he just looks faster again, right? If it's possible. It's just that was mid-season form. I expected a lot out of him, so I'm going to go with the over. And then Draisaitl, I mean on the under. But just to add a little bit of color, I wouldn't be surprised that it's at least another 50 goal, 50 point, 50 assist season. So I don't think anybody's doing that at his pace. It's just absolutely unreal. It needs to be talked about. All right, we'll go to the goals right now. Kirk, we're going to start with you on goals because you brought that up. So question is, Oilers to hit the 50 goal club this year, who and how many? And maybe we'll tack onto that because we did it last year. How many Oilers over 20 goals this year?
You guys are going to think I'm completely batshit crazy with this one.
Just before you say that, Kirk, I'm just going to say we already did, so you're not going to lose anything. we already had you there. All right, you're up on the clock.
20 goal scorers on team. I had 10. Half of them hit 30 plus. And I had 3. McDavid with 50, Leo with 52, and Kane with 52.
Oh my God.
You got to have McDavid.
Are we
over
playing
150.
Markstrom every night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called having the best cheat code in the world on your team.
Matt, you know what? If you're right on any of that, I mean, you look brilliant. And if you're
Kane
wrong
didn't have
on
a
all
full
of it-
season last year.
You're right on any
Add
of that. I'll
in.
grow my beard like yours.
Do it.
That's awesome. That is
Kane
awesome.
didn't have a full season, man. He's got a full season. He's got
Ridiculous.
4 more coming up. So
It's never
fair. It could
it's
be
never
3.
hit 40, man.
Could be 3, but
yeah,
he's never played with McDavid though either.
that's right.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. All right, Dash, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? You had this right last year. You even had
Nailed it.
Nailed it. You even had how many guys over 30? All right, you're up.
The Edmonton Oilers will have 5 20-goal scorers again this year. Kyler Yamamoto, Zach Hyman. Vander Kane will have over 30. Draisaitl will have over 40. And McDavid will have 53 goals to go with his 82 assists. McDavid will score 50 because he wants to.
And you
That's
don't
per
have
Ryan
Draisaitl
Rashad.
scoring 50?
Over 40, I said.
Okay, but you're not committing to 50. Okay, that's fair.
David's the only one. It's his turn because he wants to. Austin
fair.
did it. Now Connor will too.
All right, Ryan, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, you're up.
So for 50, I got 2 guys going over 50. I got Leon. I have him at 61 because screw you, Austin Matthews. And I've got Connor McDavid at 52. Everyone thinks Evander Kane's going to stuff the net full of pucks because he's playing on McDavid's wing this year, but I think everyone's expecting that. And Draisaitl said Connor could score that many just because he doesn't shoot enough. So I'm thinking Connor will be open for more shots at 52. And I'm way over time. But 20 goal scorers, I got 6 of them. McDavid, Dry, Kane, Hyman, Puljujärvi, Dylan Holloway.
Holloway. Really?
JP won't be on the team.
Yeah.
Add all the way 2 on my list.
You had Holloway on your list too? All right,
Yes,
Dirks,
sir.
you've got the benefit of having heard everybody. You ready?
Yeah.
You going past 10 for 20 goal scorers? Like how many?
Well,
you
that's bold. Yeah, I'm not there.
doing? All right, you're on the clock.
Durst was bold with 7 last year, let alone 10.
I've got 3 50-plus goal scorers. I got McDavid hitting the 50 goal plateau. Leon Draisaitl coming in at 63 points, which equals Michael Jordan's record for playoff points in a game.
Goals.
I'm gonna take Evander Kane. eclipsing 50 goals as well at 52. 20 goal men. I believe there's going to be 6 on the team this year. And what else you need?
Just for you to clip that he said that Draisaitl would get 63 points.
Yeah.
Goals, yes.
All right. We're not even in the bold predictions category yet, guys. Like we're getting some good stuff here. All right, I love it. All right, let's see. So I'm up on the clock here. 50 goals. You know what? I'm going to go with 3. Again, more wishful thinking than
Wrong with
actual
you
thinking.
guys.
Yeah, but my heart tells me again that Connor will be just short. If I'm being honest, I think it'll be Draisaitl, and then McDavid and Kane will both be over 40 and pushing 50, but not exactly there. I'd go
What's
with
your answer, 3 or 1?
Yeah, I'll go with what I actually think will happen. 150 goal scorer again. This is Draisaitl pushing for the Rocket Richard as usual. McDavid and Kane will be pushing 50, but won't quite make it. As far as 20 goal scorers, I'm going to go with 4, 5, 6. So 20 goal scorers, I've got McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Kane, Yamamoto, and then I'm going to go a little off the board, and I'm going to say Bouchard gets 20 this year. It'd be my 6th. So that's kind of my thing. I'd love to see. Obviously, we want to see McDavid hit 50 one time in his career. I don't know. I don't know that he's and I think with Kane on there, like if you think about the two of them on a line, like 80 goals. Or even close to 90 goals between two guys. That's a ton of goals. If either of them or both of them hit 50, you can expect a lot of PTSD around the goaltending world this year because those guys that'll be like a torrid clip for the two of them to be going at that pace. Like that's over a goal a game for that line. Right, that's a pretty big deal. But if anybody could do it, right, don't bet against McDavid. That's for sure. We do have some comments. Some stranger says Dubas will not have his contract renewed. Ottawa made a lot of moves this past offseason. They could be dangerous. And speaking of goaltending, this is a team we didn't talk about, but Ettinger might take Dallas further this time around. Dallas is not a bad dark horse or sleeper team. I mean, there's an expectation they'll, do something, but they're the kind of team, if Ettinger gets hot again, right, they go that extra step. So
They actually have a great goaltending tandem too.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Scott Wedgwood.
All right. So we've got Oilers goals. We've got Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl on the over-under. Who on the Oilers will have a breakout season this year? Dursa, we're going to start with you. You ready for this one?
Oh, man. What do we got here?
You need to see the Oilers roster first before you answer.
Or just pay attention.
Yeah, no, I was checking something.
No.
We're on a show here. Oilers Live. It's a podcast we do every once in a while.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to just say you'll be right back and leave, that's okay.
Have the bear take over for a minute.
Got anywhere to be?
Max, it's time to fill in.
Yeah, Durst, you ready?
What's the Bears prediction?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Are you ready or not?
He doesn't know the question.
Yeah.
Which Oiler is going to have a breakout year this year?
Oh, okay. We got this one.
All right,
Yeah.
you're on the clock.
So this question's a gimme. I'm going Dylan Holloway.
I don't think that's a gimme.
No, it's not a gimme. That's it. You're using your 10 seconds.
That's all.
We wasted the rest of it not paying attention.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan Holloway. All right.
You should have run the clock while I was trying to figure out what you asked me.
I should have run the clock. You're right. Lotzie, you ready?
Yep.
All right. You're up.
I'm going that Jesse Puljujärvi, who's on the cusp of a breakout last year, but had a few too many long stretches. He went 6, 8, 14, 9, and 6 games without goals at points throughout the season last year. That's not going to happen. And if he plays all 82, there's an easy path for him to get 20 goals, 25 assists, 45 points. So I'm going Puljujärvi.
All right. Kirk, you ready for this one?
I think so.
Love it. All right.
Let me see
Is
here.
it one of the goaltenders?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Is it one of the goaltenders, Kirk? I mean,
No, it's not one of the goaltenders.
it should be because it goes with the theme here. All right. All right. Who you got, Kirk? You're up.
If he goes on the third line on the right-hand side like he did in Carolina, thank you. I'm going with Warren Fogle for a rebound year.
A rebound year. All
That's
right.
bold.
All right. I'm not sure that he ever, I don't think he was any better than he was last year, ever. I mean, that's what you expected of him. But we'll go with rebound. All right. Dash. You ready for this? Need some extra time?
I'll always take extra time.
All right. You're up.
You
You're
know
on.
me. Wait, what's the question?
Yeah.
You said it actually accidentally in 2 different moments there, buddy. It is going to be the goaltending, and it's going to be Stuart Skinner. Stuart Skinner is going to start more games than Jack Campbell this year, and his breakout season is about to happen, just like the guy you mentioned, Jake Ottinger.
All right. That's bold. That is bold. I wouldn't be against that. All right. My guy for breakout season, I'm just going to go with Bouchard. I think he's going to get more time on the power play this year. I already said it earlier. I expect him to get 20. And I think the more he plays and the more he, momentum he picks up, he's just going to get more ice time and better minutes, and expect big things out of him.
I'm actually surprised that none of us said Ryan McLeod.
Yeah.
And it was my initial thought, and said to myself, I think everybody's going to pick McLeod.
I was kind of thinking the same thing too. But he'd be my second choice.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. For sure.
I mean,
Me too.
I was even going to say there that McLeod would score 20 this year, but I think that would be going too far.
Yeah.
I think so too, and
points
it's
last
more
year.
utilization for McLeod than anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. I think he'll accept his role and excel at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he did 20 though, this is a team that's, fight. If McLeod, I'll go this far. I'll say if McLeod gets 20 goals this year, that means the rest of the team is doing super well, and this might be close to a President's Cup looking team.
You know who I thought you were going to say,
then I'll be
actually?
right. The Oilers will lead the league in goals.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they would. Yeah, if he scored 20. Sorry, go ahead, Dash.
The President's Cup is for horses. It's the President's Trophy.
President's Trophy, yes. President's Cup is golf.
I don't know if there's a horse joke to go along with all the bear jokes, but I'm surprised you didn't say Bouchard.
I said Bouchard.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Like that. See what I did there?
Isn't the President's Cup yachting?
It's golf. It's probably like 20. The President's Cup is also what they give away in the queue for the for the team.
Also,
that
what
wins
they give the
queue.
guy that pays
That is
attention
also
the
true.
most in this podcast. So I'm a shoe in.
Yeah.
It's the
right.
Ryder Cup's yachting then.
Now we're gonna go with Pacific Division, and if not the Oilers, where will the Oilers place? So, for most of you, I suspect I know the answer. Some of you are wrong, and let's get it out of the way. Let's start with Dash.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
I
rip the
hate
Band-Aid
saying this,
off.
and I really do. But the
Dash.
Calgary Flames are going to
Yeah.
win the Pacific Division. They've got a team that I think they got more going for them than they did, which is crazy to say, but they played another year into that system. Sutter's going to have a more dedicated team. They're going to be more mature. I don't think that this is going to look good in 3 or 4 years, but it does look really good right now. Markstrom only sucks against the Oilers, and they only play us 3 times this year. I just really think that the consistency that Sutter brings to that team is what we're going to see through 82 games, and there's your Pacific Division champions.
All right.
They can hang another fucking banner for it too. They're so proud.
Where do
when
the
they
Oilers
lose to
place?
the second and then beat them in the playoffs in 5 games or less?
All right. I can take that. I'll take that.
I can't take that. I can't support Flames love here.
Well, go at her then, Lotzie. What do you got?
All right. Okay. Yeah. We'll
You
go
got
to
the
Ryan.
juice? Let's
Ryan,
hear
you
it.
ready? You're up.
Yeah,
Ryan.
that'll be pretty easy. Well, first of all, let's just all shake our heads and glare judgingly at Dash for his Flames pick. But
I'll take it.
Oilers win the
Sorry.
Pacific. I think it's an easy choice. McDavid, Draisaitl, improved goaltending, easy choice.
Oh,
I feel
we've got
shame. Can I just take his 8 seconds to say I feel shame?
Luchansky.
You can take that. Yeah.
Luchansky is listening in on YouTube.
Come on.
Yeah.
Good one. There's the line of the night. There's your joke there. But good one.
Check it out.
Good one, Lee.
All right, Kirk, you ready? You're on the clock.
It's not going to be Calgary. I can guarantee you that. No, it'll be Edmonton. Simple answer.
I hope you guys are right.
All right. All right. Last but not least, Dursa, you're up. You're on the clock.
Yeah, I think I should eat my notes after hearing this Calgary talk.
At least I
Edmonton,
heard the question.
yeah, terrific. Edmonton wins the Pacific in both the regular season and postseason.
Wow. All right. Can you win the Pacific in postseason? I guess
Really, you can.
you can. Yeah.
Thanks for
did
continually
last year.
providing the outtakes.
All right. All right. Get a Pacific Division banner for your
That's right.
playoff
Pacific
win.
or Pacific? Or
Pacific.
Specifically, we won the Pacific last year, and we're going to do it again this year.
All right. My take. Oilers win the Pacific. I should have asked who's all going to be playoff team out of the Pacific, and 3 or 4 teams, but we didn't ask.
That is a good question, actually. It's a good debate.
Yeah. Well, let's have a quick discussion about that because
Kirk's got
look,
the
there's lots of people that are saying
dark horse here.
every year that, and they've said this for a long time, right? That the Pacific Division is the worst. They all say the Pacific's the worst in the league, and yet they go on to always talk about how great Calgary and Edmonton are the last couple of years. So you got 2 teams that everybody thinks are top contending teams in the worst division in the league. Like, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But you guys think the Pacific Division is sending 3 teams, or do you think it's sending 4, possibly 5 teams into the playoffs this year? It's open.
Me, I'm going to go with 3, possibly 4. Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, LA. Vegas is a no-go just because of their goaltending.
There's your hot take. I don't know. Canucks, man. I know you're all over it, but
Demko's going to stand. Bruce Boudreau is going to ride him into the ground, but they'll make the playoffs, and then they'll
Demko's damn good.
he'll just fall apart. I can just see it from a mile away. Bruce Boudreau's done it with every goaltender. He's done it with Holtby. He's done it with whatchamacallit there, Talbot and whoever else, or when he was in Minnesota there too. Dubnik, pardon me.
Yeah.
He rode him right into the fucking ground too.
Anybody else got any? Ryan, what's your thoughts?
I think that only 3 teams out of the Pacific are going to make it, being Edmonton, Calgary, and LA. I think a team like Vancouver could push. I think Anaheim might make teams a little nervous. But I think there's just too many strong teams in the Central. Like, you got Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, Dallas, Nashville, maybe Winnipeg with a new coach this year. You never know. But I just think the Central's too strong. There's too many teams kind of transitioning in that upward / rock bottom phase right now in the Pacific.
Yeah. Okay. Durs?
Edmonton, Calgary, LA, and the Ducks are going to be close, but I think we only put 3 teams in.
The Ducks.
What's wrong with you guys?
All right. Dash.
There's no Getzlaf and Perry anymore. So it's
Dash,
still
what's your take on this?
Oh, give me more than 30 seconds. Are you kidding me? The Ducks, you guys, what's wrong with you? 76 points last year, and it's going to take 100 to make the playoffs. You guys think the Ducks are going to make a 25-point improvement? With
I
what?
didn't say
I
the
said they'll
Ducks,
make people
just to
nervous. I didn't
clarify.
say they would make
Said they'll
playoffs.
be close.
Close.
your
Okay,
code
90.
on
Okay,
straight
so
off
they
the
had a
pipe.
25-point improvement. That's ridiculous. And the Ducks have to pass the Knights and the Sharks and the Canucks to do it. Not a frickin' chance. It's the Ducks. That said, I do agree with everything Lotzie
The
said.
Red Hockey team's going to be better than Vegas. What are you talking about?
Maybe. I think it's the Flames, the Oilers, and the Kings repeating, and in the other division, in the Central, we'll see 5. I think the key question that comes out of this, you guys, is if you're going to take a 4th team from the Pacific to make the playoffs, which Central Division team are you taking out? Because I still got the Avs, the Wild, and the Blues, so that means you got to take out the Stars or outlaw the Predators again and make sure the Jets aren't going to make a run. And I don't disagree, but then who are you taking out? The Stars? If you take 4 or 5 from our division, who are you taking out? The Stars and the Blues?
No,
You know who I'd take out,
Not
and
the Blues.
you keep saying them, but I'd take out the Blues. If you're going to take anybody out, I'd take the Blues out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not
Really?
saying that I would,
No.
but if there's if we're talking about a team that I might bet on to underperform this year, that's the guys.
4th best team in the conference last year.
Yeah, even an underperforming Blues is still a playoff team.
Exactly. Oh, Dursa finally said something smart.
I said 3 Pacific teams are making playoffs. I didn't say 4. I said a 4th team will be close.
Kirk said 4, potentially.
I mean, you
Potentially
think-
for us, that's
I know.
So-
I know. And if it's potentially 4, then potentially who comes out of the Central? I think that's the
Dash is
slam
rounding
dunk
up
Nashville.
follow-up
argue.
question. You know me.
Yeah, we know your shtick. That's right.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I think what do we got for goaltending? Binnington and Grice, right on the Blues, right? I don't know. I
They
think
replace David Perron.
no.
Perron's was-
I mean,
Huron's
they've
in
got-
Detroit.
Yeah, but did the Blues replace him? Though is what I'm asking.
well, I mean, they've
Oh.
got O'Reilly and
They've got Kyrou.
Yeah, so they're. That doesn't answer the question though. They didn't add anybody to replace David Perron.
No.
it is. I mean, there's contract years coming up, but the guys are a little bit older, right? O'Reilly, Tarasenko are on contract
I
years.
think they trade Tarasenko because he underperforms as well.
well, and he asked for a trade last year, right?
Yeah, nothing happened.
I my gut's telling me that the Blues are the guys that are looking to be the surprise underperformers this year. That's to say, so my answer to the question, because I didn't answer, I mean, realistically, the Central's got more teams that'll make a push than the Pacific. I do think though the Pacific, it's hard for me to agree with everybody when you got 2 of these top teams in one division. Because Calgary and Edmonton are for sure. The guys that could make a push, Vancouver, Vegas, LA should be back in there. So I'd take Calgary, Edmonton, and Los Angeles for sure. But a lot rides on, whether Vegas rebounds or not. I don't think they will. But we'll see. We'll see. Stone. I saw Stone playing tonight. I watched a little bit of that game. He looks pretty good. The dog's in the background making a bed.
Merlin making an appearance.
Merlin's making an appearance again on the podcast. This is fantastic.
It's 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 4 weeks in a row now. Should never have moved the bed behind me. All right. So that's my guess. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right.
You're muted.
Next question. No, I
There you
muted
go.
on purpose. I was trying to get that out of there. Did we do boldest Oilers prediction yet?
Not yet, no.
We have not. All right. We're doing boldest Oilers prediction. And then we're going to actually, before we do that, we've got
We
Tara,
did do boldest
East Coast
Oilers prediction.
Girl says, to clarify, President's Cup is equal to golfing. America's Cup is yachting. That's right. I think President's Cup, I mean, we'll be talking about this forever now. But I think President's Cup is also the QMJHL trophy.
It is. You're right on that one.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. So we're up now. Let's do trophies because I actually like that one from last year. So we're going to do the Hart Trophy, the Vezina Trophy, the Norris, the Jack Adams. Guys, you like roll these off, and then we're going to add in the Calder Trophy only because there's some potential that we could have a candidate this year for the first time in forever, and it's the only trophy we've not won, right? Where the Oilers have not won. I've certainly never won it. All right. Who hasn't gone first in a while? Kirk, I don't think you've gone first in a while. You got all that? So you got Vezina, Hart, Norris, Jack Adams, Calder. That's 5 trophies, 30 seconds. Tell me when you're ready, and I'll hit start. Getting there?
Give her.
All right. You're on the clock.
Okay. Calder would be Holloway. Vezina, Demko. Hart would be McDavid. Rocket, I hate to say this, but Matthews. Jack Adams would be Gerard Gallant. Norris would be McCarr. Did I say that already?
Nope.
And what else?
Vezina.
GM of the year. That's
Vezina.
it. Vezina. I said Demko.
Oh, did you? Yeah, sorry. Demko.
Yeah.
Wow. That one, I didn't see that one coming. All right. Let's go with Dursa. You ready for this one?
Let's go.
I mean, Kirk did add in a couple of trophies there. If you want to add in some trophies too, I know the two of you are terrible at listening to instructions, so might as well go for it. But the main ones here, we got Hart, Norris, Calder, Jack Adams, and Vezina.
All right.
And you're ready?
Yeah.
You're on the clock.
We'll run the gauntlet. We'll go beyond. Conn Smythe.
Oh, jeez.
Cale McCarr. Hart Trophy. Connor McDavid. Calder. Dylan Holloway. Vezina Trophy. I'm going to go with Vasilevsky on a limb there. Norris. Cale McCarr. Art Ross Trophy. Leon Draisaitl. Frank J. Selke. Ryan Hopkins.
Someone other than Bergeron, there's a hot take.
Yeah.
Seven Oilers taking home trophies.
Jack Adams.
funny, yeah.
Jack Adams. I said Woodcroft. Maurice Richard. We'll go with Draisaitl. And Vezina. I already said. Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
That's
I
it.
added
Yeah.
a bit then.
Yeah. I think you forgot the Stick Boy Trophy.
There we go. We'll
All
give
right.
that one to.
I'm sure that'll go to the Oilers Stick Boy too. So, all right. Lotzi, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, go.
My pick for the Hart every year is McDavid. I don't see that changing. Rocket, Leon Draisaitl. Vezina, Igor Shesterkin from the Rangers. Calder, I'm going to go Owen Power from the Sabres. Norris, I'm going to go Roman Josi from the Preds. And Jack Adams, I'm going to go Rod Brindamore from the Canes.
Brindamore.
Rod the Bod.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a decent one.
That would be in the top 3 definitely.
Yeah.
He was in the top 3 this last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was.
All right, Dash, you ready?
Yeah, I'm lost in all the trophies now, I guess.
All right. Well, there were 5 specifically. Richard, I'm not talking like accomplishments trophies. I'm talking the ones that people vote on was the ones I was trying to pick. But you know what? I mean, nobody else listens to me, so why would you start? Gonna go cry in the corner.
There's
30
certain
seconds
things that
is
get
up.
me invited back on 32 times.
That's right. That's right. All right, you ready?
One of them isn't slamming my glass down on the table as hard as I can. The other one isn't letting my dog circle around in behind me.
Hey,
Anyways, I'm ready.
you're on the clock.
Similarly to my good colleague Ryan there, I've got Owen Power for the Calder as well, and I've also got Roman Yossi for the Norris. I think there'll be some sympathy votes there for Makar getting it last year. I think Shesterkin has a chance. He's probably going to finish top 3. Man, I hate to say it. It's going to be Markstrom. Sutter's got a better defense to work with, and Markstrom already had 25 shutouts last year. Matthews wins the Richard. McDavid wins the Hart and the Art Ross. And I'd go with Paul Maurice for the Adams this year. I think Woodcroft will be there. Woodcroft will be in the top 3, though.
You stole my Adams vote. Even though I did say earlier that I hope the Panthers get absolutely demolished.
I picked the Panthers for the
I know
Eastern
you did.
Final.
I know you did. But I think if anybody, my next one up would probably be Torts. Just kidding. There you go. I'm trying to steal one from you.
Maybe Sullivan in Vegas. He's got a chance.
yeah.
Or DeBoer in Vegas.
DeBoer in Vegas. He's definitely.
Kiefer Sutherland. I heard he's the coach in Vegas, maybe.
Emilio.
Oh man.
That Kiefer
The
Sutherland
Jack Adams is such a tough one to pick, isn't it? Like, I mean, any team that sort of goes above and beyond. Like if Toronto does really well, Keefe is going, right? Like he's winning, right? If I don't know. I would have taken Maurice though, like as my early thought, right? Like you got a new team, and hey, if Calgary does as well as you think they're going to do, Dash, I mean, Sutter's definitely got a shot.
I know.
At it. Sad as
I
that
already
is.
picked Markstrom. I didn't want to punch myself on the nuts more than I already had.
Vesna, I'm going to pick Saros. I think it's actually it's a decent bet, a safe bet, right? Not going off the chart on that one. Nashville looks like they'll compete again this year, so I'd take Saros there. Hart, it's so hard to bet against McDavid. The problem that I have, with us continuously predicting McDavid for the Hart is he's the only player in the NHL that has to prove he's not the Hart winner, right? Like, it's always, who else can we pick? And so I've got this sort of, feeling now that they'll just pick somebody else because they don't want to go pick McDavid year over year, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. But it's got to be McDavid. It should have been McDavid last year, and it should be McDavid this year. Although we haven't seen the season yet, but I'm going to guess that's exactly what it should be. And when before it was because they didn't make the playoffs, right? Like it's always some reason why it shouldn't be McDavid, and he's the only guy that they're making reasons up for. So there's that. Who else? We got Jack Adams. I said Vesna. I said Calder. Oh, did you guys pick Calder? I'm gonna take. You know what? If Holloway sticks, I think he's actually going to be a favorite for the Calder, right? And my mind might change 20 games into the season, but if Holloway's playing top 6 all year, then it'd be like throwing spaghetti against the wall, right? Lotsburg. we get a guy that over exceeds based on utilization. He's a super talented player, so I've got no problem taking Holloway for the Calder, only because it's again power. Though power looks good. Plus, if he wins the Calder, I got an upper deck card that'll probably go up in value. So I'm not against him taking the Calder. What was my last one?
You got it.
I think I got all of them.
Norris
Yeah.
or Jack? You were gonna go Paul Maurice.
Did you do the Rocket?
I think the Rocket. I think it's going to be Matthews again. I mean, I would love to see Draisaitl win the Rocket Richard. I think he'll always contend. And he's, he just continues to do what he does. Like, there's so many things that I think make Draisaitl better than Matthews. But as far as pure goal scorers go, that's Matthews far and away. He doesn't have all of the other talents that go along with Draisaitl, right? Draisaitl will be close in goals year over year, and a leader in assists, and Matthews will always be goals, right?
I kind of think that the added dimension that we gained towards the end of last season will open things up a little bit more for Leon with the, a full season of Kane on this club. Yeah,
but the thing with Leon is, like, he's got so many tools that he doesn't need to score every time, right? Like, that's like, what's Matthews going to do? He's not the same kind of passer that Draisaitl is. Like,
No.
he can't set up the easy tap in.
Yeah,
or the slick reverse pass. He just doesn't. He doesn't have that ability that And Matthews no slouch as a playmaker, but he's certainly not. He's not Draisaitl. Draisaitl just has all the tools, and that's why he doesn't need to score 60 to be efficient. He scores 55 because he's just good at what he does.
I agree with that, but I think things will just come a little bit easier to him because with that added extra threat to score, they might sleep on Leon a little bit more, and he'll pot a few more.
Yeah, I'll go so far as to say, right, like, again, if Leon scores 60 this year, again, this team is, winning the America's Cup, right? President's Trophy, right? Like, if things are going that right for this team, then they're going, like, all the way, right? Like, if Leon's scoring 60, Bouchard's scoring, if McLeod scores 20, right? Holloway scores 20, this team is next level, right? Then I would, I would suggest, at the midway point of the season, we'll know full well who's taking home the President's Trophy, and it'd be Edmonton, right?
That or Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth is likely. He's the next Art Ross winner. You wait.
Xander. Can I ask you guys a quick question on that a little bit? I think I'm a little bit surprised on some answers because
all right.
You all had Colorado and the Rangers winning conferences and Stanley Cups, and not one of you guys picked Gallant or Bednar. If Bednar takes these guys to the Stanley Cup championship again, I can't see.
I picked Gallant to win the Jack Adams.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I actually thought you. My bad.
I picked the Rangers to win.
I thought you picked
Stanley
Boudreaux
Cup.
since you love the Canucks so much.
Just like you love Daryl there in the Flames, right?
That's
There you
right,
go.
that's right.
There you go. It was Gerard Gallant, not Boost Boudreaux. GG, not BB. My bad.
Well, he did pick Gallant. So you led
Bednar?
that. You led that.
Colorado
question
goes back
by-
to the
I've been-
Cup, and
I've
Bednar
been
doesn't.
listening to you guys, which clearly you weren't. All right. What do we got? What do we got left? So we did. Last one is bold predictions for the Oilers. All right.
We did that already.
No, we haven't done that yet.
No, we haven't done that yet. I was talking about it, and then I decided to do trophies.
10-4.
All right, we're going to close it off with this because it's like 5 a.m. here in Halifax. All right, we're going to close it off with Oilers bold prediction, and let's start us off with. You know what, Dash? We're going to start you off. So this is a bold prediction for the Oilers. And whatever it is, you just go. You can do 1, 2, 3 bold predictions, however many you want. You got 30 seconds. You ready?
Yep.
You're on.
All right. Building off my breakout player, bold prediction number 1, Stuart Skinner starts more games than Jack Campbell. Prediction number 2, we pick up Patrick Kane at the trade deadline. And bold prediction number 3, we hoist a Stanley Cup for the first time in 33 years, but we don't win the division.
All right. That's fair. Durst, you ready?
I am.
All right. You're on the clock.
So my big, bad, bold prediction for the Edmonton Oilers is that Saturday night, when I am in a box watching the Oilers and Flames, we kick the living shit out of them, and I go home happy. That's it.
That's
Not
it.
bold.
That's not that
Facts.
bold.
I already kind of had a bold one with
That
Sam.
wasn't a prediction. That was a spoiler.
Woodcroft was going to win Jack Adams, I guess, was really my bold prediction. But
That is pretty bold. All right, Lotsie, you ready?
Yep.
You're on the clock.
And my bold prediction for the Oilers this year is that Philip Broberg will be in the top 4 by the time the season ends. I look back to what Evan Bouchard did last year, having 23 games or 20 games played in the NHL and then doing what he did, emerging as a second pairing D. Philip Broberg's in the exact same spot this year. He's not on the roster to start the season, but I think he'll work his way on, and I think his skating is good enough to get him into that top 4 spot.
I just about choked on my chips here.
I'm gonna add another bold prediction based on
All
what
right.
Lotzie just said, and that Nemo and Deharnay will both pass Broberg on the depth chart this year.
Oh, ooh, all right.
It's a spicy meatball.
Yeah,
Dun, dun,
yeah. I think that is bold too. I think you're both wrong, but they're bold predictions.
Going with my boy Jeff Ada on this one.
They're bold predictions. Yeah, Jeff is he's. We got
Running
Jay
Broberg right out of town. He
Crockett
started
on
the truck.
Jay Crockett on YouTube says bold prediction: Bouchard wins the Norris. That would be something, but unlikely. Would be great though. Would be great. Kirk, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're up.
Okay, I had it. Mine's very, very simple. Campbell and Skinner win the Jennings Trophy.
Wow.
Plain and simple.
Does that trophy still exist?
Yes, it does.
Jeez,
talk
now
about
we gotta
handing
go
out
another
awards.
round of Jennings.
it just hasn't been in Edmonton since what, Fear and Loath?
Yeah.
Yep.
And don't
35 years,
expect.
40 years.
I mean, I guess that's a bold prediction, right? Bouchard winning the Norris. That's a bold prediction. Broberg top 4. I mean, it's bold, but Jennings. Yeah, that'd be,
Stratosphere. I know.
Markstrom and Vlader for the Jennings.
Oh yeah, is that who you
Of
think?
course.
Yeah, I'll also take McDavid for the Hart or for the Conn Smythe.
Oh yeah. All right. Bold prediction.
Are you scouting for the Flames this year? Or
I just said McDavid for the Conn
Conn
Smythe.
Smythe.
Sit
It is,
back in
yeah.
your couch.
Jeez.
and you also calling Calgary to win everything else?
I know.
You picked Markstrom for the Vesna?
And the Jennings, buddy.
Fucking-
He's got 2 arms to carry 2 trophies. And he's
You know
gonna
why
have
he
the
blurs
President's
his
Cup, too.
background. You know why he blurs his background. You don't want him to see the Markstrom jerseys behind him.
I was going to say that the Calgary Flames specific banner there, too, he's probably got already. Yeah.
Jane on YouTube says Campbell for Vesna. How's that for bold?
No.
Tough when you play 35 games.
Nope.
I think we got to rename our podcast like to Straight Out of the Calgary Tower.
Straight up.
Good one.
Straight off the Calgary Tower. All right, my bold prediction for the Oilers this year. I don't think Campbell will win the Vezina, but I think, and this is bold given the state of our defense, and that I think the Oilers will be in the top half of the league in lowest goals against. And I mean, you might think that's like not bold. I think that's bold.
Is based on where we've
yeah.
been for the last 14 years.
Yeah. But I think the Oilers will be better defensively than we expect. And I think a lot of that will have to do with systems play and then trusting the goaltender back there. And maybe the emergence of Broberg as a potentially Norris candidate, right, Lotzi?
Totally happening.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I think the Oilers are going to be much better defensively than I'm giving them credit for, and everybody's giving them credit for. At least that's, again, a lot of these things are maybe wishful thinking for me. I just think, much like we talk about the Flames all the time, talk about Florida. There's a lot of unknowns, and the unknown for the Oilers is how do they do a full year under Manson as defensive coach, and with a goalie and goalies I feel that they can trust back there, which I've said this time and time again, but it's such a big difference as a defenseman if you can trust your goaltender, right? How you play.
You don't cheat.
Yeah, you don't cheat. All those things. Shane on YouTube says, what do you guys think a full season of Woodcroft is going to be like? Let's finish it off with that. This is, we're just going to have 5 minutes open discussion. And against my better judgment, I'm going to give Dash the last word tonight. I'm sure he's not prepared anything, but I'm sure he'll figure something out. He's got something in there. He's probably got a list of prepared statements somewhere. All right, guys. What do you think? So we're going into the season tomorrow. Oilers are playing Vancouver. The last question of the night, full season of Woodcroft. I mean, does this make a big difference for the Oilers versus last year? Do you think the
Big time.
addition of Woodcroft over Tippett changes the fortunes of this team? Big time?
Big time.
Just Woodcroft or the Matson thing? Or
both,
like how
of
do you,
course.
yeah.
Both, of course. I think it's got to be both. I mean, they've both come up together. They've developed these systems together. They've learned these players together. They've committed to a better team defense. They've committed to systems that suit this team's skill better, like the 1-3-1 in the neutral zone. The difference between Tippett always having the center or the first forward back, whereas Woodcroft always having the first center back. I just think it makes for a better system. With better defense comes better offense and more offensive opportunities. And, we sat through the roller coasters of Tippett last year, not knowing where we were going to go in a 10-game spurt. And the consistency's there from the coaching, the consistency's there from the players' expectations for their roles, the consistency's there in the goaltending. And yeah, I think defense is our weakness, but we got faster. We got a whole year of Kulak, and we got rid of Keith. So I'd argue like our defense isn't that much worse. So you take a step up from guys like Broberg, who will, but I still think he'll be leaped by guys who take a bigger step up. So it'll be team defense, and that's how they're going to do it, and that's all going to come from Woodcroft and Manson.
Hey, Dursa,
Yeah.
what's your thought on this?
I think a full season of Woody is going to pay dividends. Last season we started out, I think 16-5 and 0, and then went into Maverick style caught in the jet wash flat spin, and it didn't look good. And the thing that saved the season was Ken Holland actually firing a coach mid-season and bringing up Jay and Dave Manson, and them taking over the reins and getting this team into the playoffs and having kind of the most successful season we've had here since 06. And during the course of the season, it's hard to implement everything you want to instill into players. So now he's had, that time plus, this training camp and preseason, and, we get to see what he can do with a full year. And, Evander Kane came in, and now we've got him as part of the fold, coming up. A goalie in Jack Campbell, I think that's going to provide some consistency and some calm. I think he's kind of the second coming of Grant Fuhr, and in terms of kind of the calmness and the demeanor and the way he conducts himself. And I think it's going to pay dividends. I think we win the Pacific Division and go on another run and lock horns with Colorado again in the Western Conference Finals and make a series out of it this time, but just don't quite have enough to get over that hump this year. But I think that comes next.
Yeah. Lotzi, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we saw the Oilers have elite stretches where they were one of the best teams in the league under both Tippett and Woodcroft last year. But the difference was that 2-11-2 stretch where it felt like it took 2 months, basically, middle of December through almost middle of February, where they only won 2 games. But what happened with Tippett, it felt like he just ran out of ideas, he ran out of solutions, and he ran out of things to say. Woodcroft's messaging has been pretty simple and pretty consistent. We take care of today's business today, they stay in the present, and they keep a level head. So it's a more professional way of going about your business. It's a more professional way of handling the season. And I think Woodcroft has shown that he's got tricks up his sleeve. He's not afraid to make some adjustments over the course of the season. So I don't think we'll see the bottom fall out for any length of time like we saw under Tippett. There's going to be ups and downs. You're not going to be the best team in the league on a consistent level the whole year, but I just don't see a 2-11-2 stretch happening with Woodcroft this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is going to be a consistent season for a change. Kirk, last but not least on this topic here, thoughts of full season of Woodcroft?
I think it all stems back to the playoffs. Jay saw, and I think everybody else saw, that Colorado was like pretty much a total blitzkrieg war, and you saw it against Edmonton's top guns there too. They silenced them with their speed. I think, and it's I from today's presser there with McDavid, he said, "Yeah, we want to be fast." So I think Woodcroft is gonna apply that throughout the year, and he always has the nuclear option to have and McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line.
Sorely.
I just about blurred it. But
Zach McSorley, that's all I want.
I also think with the goaltending there with Stuart Skinner, he knows him in and like through and through. They can lean on him pretty hard if he wants to, and that's the thing. When things fall apart on the goaltending end of things, at least you have somebody that you can depend on and lean on if you need be. Like, and he's had Skinner like for 3. Well, this will be his 4th year, going into his 4th year. So at least you have that to lean on. So as far as Woodcroft will do this year, I think for a full season, I think right off the hop, they're going to be better. Just a little tweaks. And the one last point I wanted to point out, and I noticed this especially during the preseason games, they were pinching more at the defense, the opposition defense on the penalty kill. And I just a little tweaks there. You've seen Hyman break out there. I think it was 3 times on a breakaway there, the one preseason game. That just caught me. That caught my eye. And I was like, well, maybe they're going to go on the flip side and be better on the penalty kill rather than the power play. Well, I think the power play is going to be lethal again, but just a little additions there, little tweaks there on the penalty kill. I think they'll do great. I that's accreditation to Manson right there too.
Yeah, Manson's going to make I think a big difference. My thoughts. I mean, you guys all said it. A team like this where you've got finally some consistency from the start of the season with a guy that I think utilizes the players in the system right for these types of players. You know, I've just had so many I had so many frustrations with Tippett when he was behind the bench, like how he utilized players, his stubbornness, right? Like he just, whereas Woodcroft, you know, I think is that new era of coach that, you know, is willing to try different things out, right, and see what works, right? Like, you know, these guys are being successful in the league now. Like, look at Toronto and Keefe talking about maybe putting Marner on D once in a while. I doubt we'll see it, but it's the thought, right, and the thought process of trying something different and not being afraid to move away from, you know, traditional hockey, which isn't being played anymore, right? Like these guys are too good for that, and you know, a full season of Tippett is going to be, you know, a game changer for this team. And the other game changer in my mind is we're coming into the season where we've made additions and no subtractions, right? Like Evander Kane re-signing, big deal, right? That's a big deal. You know, that you have that, a guy that, you know, was on pace for, what was he on pace for? Over 40 last year, right? If he'd played the full season.
50 something.
Was it 50 something?
49 maybe. Yeah.
No, I think it was.
Including playoffs, it was 49, I think.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, you get those guys into the mix and that consistency, and I think you've got a recipe for success. And I said it, you know, I think defensively we looked better at the end of last season too, right? After, you know, Manson came in and worked with the D-core. I thought CC looked really good. I think, you know, a name we haven't mentioned today at all is Kulak.
I just did.
Yeah. Yeah, you just did. But, you know, we'd talk about like Kulak, like he looked good in preseason. And, you know, I thought he got better as the season progressed last year, right? Mm-hmm. I expect a lot out of him. I expect a lot out of Bouchard. I'm not maybe sold on Broberg yet, Ryan. Like it wasn't a great preseason. But if he's anything like the expectation and he starts to play with the extra body weight and extra muscle that he has, then he's going to be a player, right? And I'd rather that for him than, you know, Niemelainen passing him on the depth chart. But at the same time, if Niemelainen gets better, he's the kind of guy we need come playoff time, right?
So's Desharnais.
Yeah, and Desharnais too. Yeah. So lots of good things. What's that? Oh,
he can hit, but I said Nemo's got to learn to defend first.
Yeah,
hitting's great, but hitting isn't the same as defending.
No, 100%. I mean, that's why, right? Like, I think they're going to be more comfortable playing Broberg right now. And, you know, preseason is preseason, right? Like, the only guy that looks midseason form and preseason, only guys, I should say, are Draisaitl and McDavid, right? Like, you know. Holloway, too. Yeah. I'm excited, too, to see, you know, like, I think the one thing I love about, you know, you never feel bad about watching a Jay Woodcroft presser, right? Like, you just kind of, you watch him and
Makes me feel tingly.
Yeah. But he's so cautious about, like, you know, killing somebody in the media, right? Like, you know, he you know when he's figuring that folks aren't doing well, right? But he doesn't come out and say it. You know, it's not like Torts.
The subject and he chooses his words very
exactly. Well. Yeah,
and I like him. He's voted the most handsome coach in the NHL.
Yeah, that's why he's just so damn good looking. He's so damn good looking. All right. That's it for the night. We're going to have try to keep the last words quick. We've been going on for about an hour and a half, hour and 45. If actually exactly an hour and 45. We're going to go Ryan, Kirk, Dursa, and then finish it up with Dash. I'll say my last words right now. Thanks again to everybody that's tuned in. If you don't already know, the World Hockey Report has joined Heavy Hockey Network. We've got lots more exciting announcements to go as far as the Heavy Hockey Network goes. Lotsberg, who's on here right now, keeps writing articles quicker than I can keep up. Kirk's got some in the works. Durson Dash as well. I know new podcast
Jeff Ade's
coming
got
up.
one coming.
Jeff A's got one. Eric Friesen just released 99 Forever podcast with Brian Swain from TSN, talking about the upcoming season. And of course, we didn't talk about, we still haven't really talked about the Oilers Hall of Fame. Ryan Smith being inducted into that this year, which is pretty exciting for all the Smitty fans out there. Just lots of exciting things happening, and as always, spirit of Thanksgiving, maybe I'm just thankful to be a part of this, and happy to have you guys on here. And it was another fun season predictions episode. We'll see how many I got right and how many you guys got wrong. All right, Lotzi, you're up. Did you hear me?
Well, I'm hoping I do better than last year on the predictions end of it. That was not a good showing, but hopefully this year's a little better. Anyway, this last year I came on here in this season preview show, and I said that by this time, right now in 2022, we'd be talking about the Oilers as a true contender, and that's exactly where we are. Now, this year, we're going to learn a lot about the Oilers and how they handle themselves as contenders. We saw what happened in 17-18 after they had a little bit of playoff success. They crashed and burned and missed the playoffs and didn't get back for a number of years.
16,
I don't see that
17.
happening this year. I can see them having a solid regular season. Playoffs are always to be determined. But I think we'll learn a lot about how the Oilers can handle themselves as true contenders this season. And excited to be with the Heavy Hockey Network for a second season. Going to be trying to pump out as many articles as I can throughout the season. Probably won't be at the same pace that I did in the preseason, but definitely get you guys lots of Oilers-related content. And just looking forward to the year ahead.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Kirk, you're up.
Yes, sir. No, I just, as a final word, like I said there before, I really like what Woodcroft is going to be. Just his pressers alone, man. It just, you never hear the guy say a bad word. If it is going to be a bad word, it'll probably be in private. And even then, I don't think he'd run anybody into the ground just with his positivity. And today there with his presser there, Jack Campbell, same thing. Like, he never says a bad word. He's always positive. He always has that positive mindset. And I think it's infectious, to tell you the truth. It just filters down to the rest of the group. So you're going to have peaks, you're going to have valleys. It's how well you rebound from them valleys and go forth. So, shout out to everybody who's been checking out all our work, and shout out to Cody Jansen and the boys there at World Hockey Report. Freaking huge to have you guys on. I'm actually kind of humbled, to tell you the truth, but I think the future is only going to be brighter as we go forth here and adding more people onto the group here. So that's it.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thanks, Kirk. Durst, you're up.
Well, I am looking forward to this season probably more than normal. They gave us a taste last year and we got close, but as they say, Ricky Bobby would say, if you're not first, you're last. So I want a little bit more. I predicted Colorado to win the cup, but that sure doesn't mean I don't want Edmonton to win it. Don't really know what can happen. It's a long season. Starts tomorrow, and I can't wait. We'll see you then.
Awesome. Thanks, Durst. And Dash, you're going to take us home tonight. Thanks again, everybody. Dash gets the last word, as we do every week on Oilers Live Tuesday. I turn myself on mute, and somebody gets the last word. The only rule is they say goodnight when we're all said and done, and I shut us down for the night. So still not sure how I feel about this, but I'm giving Dash the last word tonight. Dash, you're up.
I'll add this record-setting last word segment to my record-setting appearance on Oilers Live here tonight, I guess. A couple of random stats I'll throw at you just to start. It's been 35 years since the Edmonton Oilers have won the Pacific Division. I've maybe never wanted to be wrong more and have them go ahead and take that, but it's not something we do very often, you guys. Speaking of, it's also been 35 years since the Oilers had 340 goal scorers at the same time, let alone 350 goal scorers at the same time. So I'd calm our Jets a little bit there, I think. I'd also calm the Jets on Anaheim going anywhere. That all said, absolutely, I think Kirk said it the best, humbled to have CJ on board. Just fantastic news to have merged up with the World Hockey Report. Believe it or not, with that news that we announced, there might be just as intriguing news still to come. So keep tuning in and eventually we'll get there. As far as other things just to highlight on, looking forward to getting back in the saddle with Thursa and doing some straight off the pipe. I know we love to bicker on here, and if you love hearing us bicker, that's a really good place to have it isolated.
I can't see you leaving Hebert because you ask him one question and then he changes his mind and agrees with you. So
can you mute him? He's supposed to be on mute. This is my last word. That said, big Stortini hug for everybody. I love you guys. Kirk, waiting for the invite. Lotsy, thanks for all the articles, buddy. Honestly, keep pumping it out. You made the website, look fabulous this spring or this fall, pardon me. Other than that, I would just maybe finish off with saying that it's just getting started, and maybe that's why our logo is what it is. We're growing, and more things to come. Just keep tuning in. We love everybody for tuning in. Thanks for being there. If you happen to and you can, please go out of your way to subscribe. It means a lot to us. And after all of that, good night, you big bunch of beauties.
Oilers Live Podcast. Oilers Live.